Hi everyone, this is Adrena Nicole Anzaldua, owner of Healing Space in Anacortes, Washington, and I am back with another 10-ish minute video designed for those of us who feel resistant to movement, who perhaps are feeling depressed, sluggish, just kind of not really feeling it, but still want to get into their bodies anyways and want to do it in a way that is compassionate. I've got you. Today we're going to be focusing on our hips, no props needed. So let's go ahead and let's find our way onto our mat, a blanket, or simply just the floor like I'm using today. Welcome to this 10-minute yoga practice designed to help you sleep for those of us who feel resistant to moving and really don't like to move. I want to welcome and I want to appreciate the effort that it took for you to press play, for you to continue to be here. And with all of that being said, I want for you to take a moment to acknowledge the effort. And let's take a deep breath in together and a deep breath out. And let's just take a moment here to scan into the body. And in particular, we are going to bring awareness and attention to our hips. So let's first bring awareness into our mind and into our body that we have hips. A right hip and a left hip. And tuning into the body, I'm going to invite you to notice what you observe physically here about your hips. Do they feel kind of cranky, tight? Do they feel crunched, uncomfortable? Maybe you feel like you have space there. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. From here, we're going to go ahead and find our way into a tabletop. So tabletop, we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Spread your fingers nice and wide, stacking the hips right over the knees, shoulders right over the wrist, and let's just flow through a few rounds of cat and cow. So really drop the belly. As the belly drops, open up the collarbones. Exhale, curl and round, tucking it in. Inhale, belly drops, gaze reaches up, stretch out through the front body. Exhale, curl and round. From here, please lift your left knee up off of the floor and let's find a few hip circles. Now, instead of throwing your leg back, I want you to go really intentional here. Let's take 2 more in this direction and then we're going to switch. Think about you have a marker attached to your hip and you're just wanting to draw circles into the air. Let's find 1 more. Great job. Let's extend this leg out behind us. Press back through the heel, opening up through the calf, the back of the leg. You're going to shift your weight back here, so you're no longer going to be over the wrist. There you go. So pressing back. And then we're going to take this leg. Think about if you were a clock and your foot is going to be at a 9 o'clock. Your toes and knees are going to face the same direction. I'll turn this way. So my knees and toes are facing the same direction. I'm going to lean into this left leg. My right hand can stay here, and then my left hand can press and open up. So it's almost like you're trying to press that leg away from you. Feel free to take your gaze up. And then slowly come back. And then we're going to switch sides. So now we're going to lift that right knee up off of the floor and let's find a few hip circles in this direction. Notice, does this side feel different? I always like to tell students, clients that Oh, go ahead and switch sides. That this side might have a completely different story, completely different experience. One more. From here, let's find that calf stretch. So extend that right leg behind, press back into that heel. So get nice and long here. Make sure you're not dumping all of that weight into the wrist. You're still pressing up, lifting up. Breathe. And then we're going to find that squat-like position. It's almost like you're finding warrior two legs. All right, so now your foot and your knee would be out into that 3 o'clock if we were a clock. Left hand down as an option. Right hand to the inside. Open up. Maybe gaze goes to the sky. Maybe to the floor. And then slowly come back. All right, so the next pose that we're going to be finding is going to be a modified version of a frog. We're going to be kneading our wall for this. Traditional frog, we do this with our belly down. I really like offering this one because it's a lot more accessible. So, you know how earlier we were finding that squat pose and we had our legs out? We're going to be doing that, but with both of our legs. All right, so let's go onto the floor here. So if we're using that clock analogy, then we want to think about our right toes being at 3 o'clock, our left toes being at 9. There is a 90-degree angle from my right knee to my right ankle. And then there's still that right angle with my left knee and left ankle. If traditional frog is in your practice, you're more than welcome to take this on your belly. You're going to see that I'm placing my hands here on top of my thighs very gently. But what this is doing is placing a little bit more weight here. Increasing the stretch, which also means we are increasing the sensation. Speaking of, I'll invite you to tune into the sensations that you are noticing here. So earlier we brought our awareness to the hips. And I'm wondering that whenever you bring your awareness to the hips here, what you notice. What do you observe? How do they feel physically? And if we could understand that some of the sensations that we experience are messages from our body, I'm wondering what sensations and what messages your body might be telling you here. That might feel like opening up Pandora's box. And so another way to compassionately work with your body here, specifically with those hips, is just to ask or to sit and explore with what emotions you're experiencing in this area. It's very common to experience anger, sadness, while we are opening up the hips. Our hips can be storage houses for old energy, old emotions, just tucking it away, kind of like that corner closet that you have or that junk drawer. We're here for a few more breaths. Breathe into the low back and just allow gravity and your breath to unravel the hips. All right. If you can, take your hands to the outside of your knees and your legs. That way you can gently help and guide your legs back in together. Whew, if your hips are feeling it here, you are not alone. Maybe squeeze the legs together while they're in over your chest, helping your body to just kind of come back into center here. From here, we're going to take that right knee and put it directly over that left knee. We're finding recline gomukhasana. We're not going to be here for a long time, but if you can, grab hold of your ankles with whatever hand is close. You can pull in your legs over your chest as much as what feels good for you without pulling the shoulders up away from the floor. It's normal to feel a stretch or a sensation in the low back here, as well as the outer hips. And then we're going to switch sides. So now we're going to take the left knee directly on top of the right knee, holding on to the feet or the ankles. Allowing everything just to kind of come back into center, back into alignment. Slowly release here. We're going to come over into the fetal position, resting onto one side. Taking a big breath in and out. Slowly begin to lift yourself up. It might feel nice to windshield wiper those legs side to side before we close out our practice. And so let's go ahead and do that. Let's inhale the arms up, sweep them up, hands come together at the top of that breath. Exhale, bring those hands down towards the heart. To get into the body, to practice, to move is a challenge. To do so with resistance is even more of a challenge. I hope that you are grateful for the effort and the dedication that you've spent here and leaning into the resistance with compassion. I hope you all stay holistically happy, healthy, and well.